You're probably stressing your dog out every single day without even realizing it, and it's costing you their trust. But that's nothing compared to how just 24 rabbits manage to physically rewrite the geography of an entire continent. We're breaking down the hidden science of your pets, starting with the one greeting mistake everyone makes. Most of us think that walking straight up to a dog and leaning over to pet them is just being friendly. In reality, to a dog, that's a massive red flag. Approaching them head-on and bending over is actually perceived as a threat or a challenge in their world. It triggers immediate stress instead of comfort. If you want them to actually like you, try turning your body slightly to the side and letting them come to you on their own terms. It's a small shift, but it changes the entire vibe of the interaction. And if you think your dog is misunderstood, wait until you hear why your cat is shredding your expensive sofa. It's not because they're being jerks or trying to ruin your decor. Cat scratching is actually a biological necessity. They're doing it to shed old claw layers and mark their territory using scent glands hidden in their paws. If they're doing it excessively, it's usually a sign they're stressed out by too much noise or just plain bored. They aren't acting out, they're just following an ancient script written in their DNA. Speaking of that cat attitude, it turns out they aren't just ignoring your voice because they're spacey. Science actually proves that cats process human language faster than human babies do. They know exactly what you're saying, and they definitely recognize their own names. The kicker? Their indifference is a conscious choice. They hear you calling, they understand the command, and they simply decide that whatever they're doing at that moment is more important than you. It's not a lack of intelligence, it's a display of it. But while cats are busy calculating their next move, your dog might be fighting literal demons in their sleep. Dogs experience REM sleep and nightmares just like we do, often reliving past fears or traumas. If you see them twitching or whimpering, whatever you do, don't wake them up abruptly. Doing that can trigger a trauma response or even accidental aggression because they're disoriented. It's better to let them finish the cycle or gently call their name from a distance to bring them back to reality slowly. Now, if you've ever seen your dog let out a heavy sigh after waking up, you should know that we actually do the same thing for a much more mechanical reason. A sigh isn't just an emotional release, it's a vital reset for your lungs. It forces open the tiny air sacs, or alveoli, that tend to collapse during shallow breathing. Without that occasional deep breath, your lung tissue would actually become rigid and lose its flexibility. It's basically your body's way of making sure the machinery doesn't seize up. It's wild how a tiny biological reset keeps us alive, but when we try to reset an entire ecosystem, things go south fast. Back in the 70s, people introduced an invasive fish species to the US to help clean up algae. Fast forward to today, and those fish are threatening to completely destroy the $7 billion Great Lakes fishing industry. They're so aggressive and reproduce so fast that the government is literally building electric underwater walls just to keep them from taking over the entire country's water supply. But if you want to talk about the ultimate ecological butterfly effect, nothing beats the story of the 24 rabbits. In 1859, a guy released just 24 rabbits in Australia for hunting. Within only 50 years, those 24 animals multiplied into millions, colonizing 2/3 of the continent. They ate so much vegetation that they fundamentally transformed millions of acres of soil through a destructive cycle of grazing and accidental fertilization. It remains the fastest spread of a colonizing mammal ever recorded, and it changed the face of Australia forever. 24 rabbits changed the map of a continent in just 50 years.